This is a map of the Earth according to flat earthers. Now we'll draw a straight line from Bali to San Francisco. This is the actual flight route between these two cities. Now let's remove that line and draw a straight line between Sydney and Santiago. That is not the flight route. The real flight route is the orange line. It passes Antarctica. Can you see the logic in that? Okay, we'll forget about the orange line. Now let's see the green line again. The red line is almost twice as long as the green line. The orange line is even longer than that. So let's have a look at the flight routes. The flight from Bali to San Francisco, green, takes 12 hours and 30 minutes. The flight from Sydney to Santiago, red, takes 12 hours and 20 minutes. Now we'll have a look at the globe. This piece of string is the distance between Bali and San Francisco. And the same piece of string is enough to cover the distance between Sydney and Santiago. This route is a bit shorter, 10 minutes to be precise. You're going to see part of a video that proves the shape of the Earth. Now let's see that in a loop. Watch the east coast of Australia. It's daytime now, right? And now it's night. Day again. Night again. According to flat earthers, the days are very short in Australia, even in the summer. To be precise, 6.5 hours of daylight and 17.5 hours of darkness. So, obviously they're wrong, and the proof of that came from a Flat Earth Society video. This sundial actually works only close to an equinox. In midsummer the digits should be further from each other, in midwinter they should be closer to each other. But the distance between the digits is equal all year long, like in the picture on the left. In the flat earth theory, the sun travels across the sky at a constant speed. That means, when it's overhead, it seems to travel a lot faster than early in the morning or late in the afternoon. A sundial should look like this then. The way the numbers are unequally divided depends on how high the sun is supposed to be. Compare it to a car that passes. If you keep looking at it, your head hardly moves when it's far away, but your head moves quickly when it's passing. The same goes for the sun. This is an actual sundial. It matches the globe, not the pancake.
If you have a good digital camera with a zoom function or a telescope, you can see the moon in close-up. Now if you see a half moon, this is what you will see. And if you take a very good look, you will see that there are shadows on the moon. They make it quite clear that the moon does not emit its own light, it is lit by the sun. And that also explains why the lit part of the moon faces the sun at all time. If you see a half moon in the evening, the western part of the moon is lit. If you see a half moon in the morning, the eastern part of the moon is lit. So, here's the next question. Where is the sun if you see a full moon in the middle of the night? The sun is not above us because otherwise there would be broad daylight. But the moon is lit from below. So the sun must be beneath our feet. However, if the sun is beneath a flat earth, it would be night everywhere on earth. But it is day on some parts of the earth. The part of the earth where it is day faces the sun, beneath us. And that is solid evidence that the earth is a globe. This is how it works. If you see a full moon, the sun is on one side of the earth, the moon is on the other side. Now you try to make a picture like this with a flat earth and a full moon. Try to draw the sun and the moon and the earth in such a way that it is night where you see the full moon and day on another part of the earth.
Oh, I almost forgot something. According to Flatties, the sun makes a circular piece of daylight. Circular. So, there is a certain distance from the sun to the earth after which it is night. Now, when the sun is right above the Sahara Desert in midsummer, it's midnight in Alaska. But if you stand on the northern coast, you can still see the sun. Now, when the sun is right above Central America, the distance from the sun to the Western European coast is exactly the same as from Alaska to the Sahara Desert. However, on the western coast of Europe, it's night. It has been night for several hours already. The flat earth theory does not work.
You are standing on the yellow cross on the day of the equinox. The daylight period is exactly 12 hours long, so the sun goes along the red line during that period. Right? On the day of the equinox, if you stand on the equator, you will see that the sun rises exactly east and it sets exactly west. Now let's see. On the globe, it fits. On the pancake, however, see where the sun rises and sets. Oops. If I park my car under my sister-in-law's carport, I have a clear view in all directions except up. My GPS does not work then. But if I take my GPS out of my car and I stand in the space between the house, the barn and the garage, I'm all surrounded by walls, there is no ceiling and the GPS works. Now that proves the existence of satellites, which flat earthers deny. And just about 20 years ago, I installed a satellite dish together with the man who sold it to me. If I didn't point it at a certain spot in the sky, I had no signal. So, how else can you explain that, but by the existence of satellites?
What is this object? It's the moon. We've all seen the moon. We've seen it many times. Look at all of these pictures of the moon. What do they have in common? They all show precisely the same features. We all see the same face of the moon. It doesn't change from night to night, and it doesn't change throughout the night. There is no denying this. Now let's place the moon above a flat disk and let it float around in the little magic circles you like to imagine. If the Earth was flat, would we all see the same face of the moon? Here is someone standing in one spot looking at the moon. They see this. Here is someone standing in another spot looking at the same moon. They see this too. And this person, and this person. You get the idea. So is this possible? No, because that's not how objects work. People on the opposite sides of an object can't see the same face of the object. Go get two of your little buddies and have them stand on opposite sides of you. Can they both see the front of your face at once? No. A spherical moon over a flat Earth is not consistent with reality at all. So, is it two-dimensional with the same face on both sides? Then anyone but these two people would see a different shape, so no. Is it pointing down like a spotlight? Then it would change shape as it passes by and only appear circular when directly overhead, so no. Is there any way we can make this work on a flat Earth? No, there is not.
Here you see the trail of a plane in the evening. It doesn't matter if you call it a chemtrail or not. You can also see a shadow on the cloud above it. That means that the clouds are lit by the sun from below. This fits a sunset on a globe. It doesn't work on a flat Earth. If you walk past the last street lamp in the village, soon you'll be in complete darkness. But if you turn around, you can still see the last street lamp. You'll have to go a lot further before you can't see the street lamp anymore. So how is it possible that there is a moment in the evening when you can no longer see the sun, but it's still not dark?
This is a picture of the horizon. Do you see a curve? No, of course not. This seems to match the flat Earth theory. But wait, how wide is the horizon that you see? In this picture you see just about 50 kilometers of horizon. According to the globe, that is 1/800th part of a full circle. So, if you match the direction of the left side of this picture with the direction of the right side, if we assume one line to be completely straight, the other line pulls 3 centimeters in 1 kilometer. No wonder you don't see the curve. Well, not this way. However, you can see it, but in a different way. Stand in a tall building at the western coast. Put someone on the first floor and someone on the top floor. Let them both tell when they see the sun disappear. The difference can only be explained if the Earth is a globe. Also, from the top floor you might see an island that's just about 20 kilometers away. From the first floor you can't. Same proof, the Earth is a globe.
Equinox again.
Mid-March and mid-September we have a so-called equinox. Day and night are equally long, 12 hours, all across the world. On a globe it means that the Earth is tilted in such a way that the sun appears to be right above the equator, and exactly half the ball is lit. On a pancake it means that the border between light and darkness is a straight line. But if the sun is above the equator, how can the part of the Earth that is lit be anything but a circle? It doesn't work. From April to August, the sun never sets within the Arctic Circle and it never rises within the Antarctic Circle. This works for both the globe and the pancake theory. But from October to February, the sun never rises within the Arctic Circle and it never sets within the Antarctic Circle. This works for the globe. On the pancake, however, the lit part of the Earth has a very odd shape. During a solar eclipse, the moon passes between the sun and the Earth and therefore casts a shadow on the surface of the Earth. If there is a distant big sun and a relatively small and much closer moon, there is a rather small area on the Earth where it gets dark, the full eclipse. If the sun is nearby and above a flat Earth, the moon casts an enormous shadow, and the area with the full eclipse is huge.
Now wait a minute. This last evidence was not very strong, I admit. But if the solar eclipse is caused as the right picture shows, how can there possibly be a lunar eclipse? The only, and I really do mean the only way a lunar eclipse can be explained is the moon stops shining spontaneously from time to time. But if that's the case, how can scientists predict a lunar eclipse? That's right, they can't. And yet they do. So there goes the flat Earth theory once again.
And here's a little extra. Whenever you post something on Facebook that goes against the official narrative of which you say it's a lie, you get a so-called fact checker, right? So why do you never see a fact checker when you try to prove the Earth to be flat